Hello, I'm Pastor Joe, and welcome to Impacts. Impacts is a video-based teaching series where I want to help nurture your faith in, your commitment to, and your relationship with Jesus Christ. We know now that Thanksgiving is behind us, it's time to turn our attention to Christmas, and people all around are decorating their houses and getting their presents ready. Well, here in the church, we have entered into the season of Advent, and sanctuaries all over are decorated for the season of Advent. So have you ever wondered why we decorate for Advent? Have you ever wondered why we use the particular decorations that we do? Well, look, over the next several weeks, I want to explore with you not only what decorations we use during Advent, but why. There is significance and meaning of them. So join me as we explore these and what they point us to in our faith. So come on, let's get started. In the church's liturgical calendar, the 4 weeks before Christmas is known as Advent. Advent is a time of preparation. It is a time that we begin to prepare to celebrate the historic birth of Jesus in that manger so many years ago. But it's also a time when we focus on the promise of God, the promise that one day Jesus is going to return. And we start preparing ourselves for that, nurturing our faith and our commitment. As we enter into this season, we do decorate our churches. And we don't do that simply to make our sanctuaries more beautiful, but because the decorations and the symbols that we place in those sanctuaries have meaning. They are important. Perhaps the most prominent symbol of Advent is the Advent Wreath. In many sanctuaries, it is the prominent feature of the Advent decorations. And the Advent Wreath is really made up of 3 different components, all of which have very special meaning for us. Now, the first thing we're going to notice is that the Advent Wreath is formed by greenery, evergreen. Now, this time of year, you're familiar, you're seeing leaves along the side of the road that have lost their leaves. The leaves are everywhere. It's been said that in the midst of winter, when all the other trees have lost their leaves and everything is dark and gray, that the evergreen stands lonely vigil until all of creation springs forth to new life. So when we see the evergreen in the midst of the Advent Wreath, it reminds us of the everlasting life that we gain in Jesus Christ, that He is the source of eternal life for all of His believers. Well, the second piece that we notice in the Advent Wreath is that it's a circle. And the circle has no beginning, it has no end, it just continues. So when we see the circle of the Advent Wreath, it reminds us of the eternal nature of God. That God and Jesus Christ, neither one have a beginning, neither one have an end, but they are eternal. And then the third piece of the Advent Wreath are the candles. So there's 5 candles. Now, in our sanctuary, we use blue as our liturgical color for Advent. Some churches use purple. You can really use any color candle here. But you have you have hope, peace, joy, and love, the 4 candles. And it reminds us that Christ is the source of those attributes in our lives. And then the center candle is usually white, and that's the Christ candle. And it reminds us that Christ is light of the world. And we light these candles, one each week, and then finally on Christmas Eve we light the Christ candle to proclaim what we believe about Jesus Christ. He is the light of the world. He is the light of our lives. What I hope is that the next time you enter the sanctuary and you see the Advent wreath, that it is more than just a decoration to you, but that you will look beyond the fixture of the wreath and see the meaning behind it. May it strengthen and nurture your faith. I hope that you'll join us next week. Next week, we're going to be looking at another very prominent feature in a lot of sanctuaries during Advent, and that's the Christmas tree. And that's a little different than a Christmas tree, but we'll talk about that next week. Look, before you leave, I hope you'll do a couple of things. Please take the time to like and share my video. Share it with your friends, your neighbors, your family members. I hope that others will get to see it and can learn from it. I also hope that you will take the time to subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss any of the new videos that I post. Well, look, I hope that you'll join me next week, and I pray that God's blessings will be with you.